This is Barry Zalma speaking for Claim School Incorporated's blog, Zalma on Insurance. Today we're going to talk about what happens when a police officer violates the law and, among other things, commits insurance fraud. And you will find that there is no mercy for a crooked police officer, and a police officer's involvement in insurance fraud resulted in jail. Von Harris was convicted of bribery, forgery, and insurance fraud. He appealed his conviction and sentence, and his appeal was denied. The Court of Appeals in State of Ohio versus Von Harris on January 30, 2025, affirmed his conviction. On January 23, 2024, the trial court sentenced Harris to 6 months in the county jail on count 15, 12 months in prison on counts 6, 8, and 11, and 13, and 24 months in prison on counts 5 and 10, with all counts running concurrently one another for a total of 24 months in prison. The jury found Harris guilty based on his involvement in facilitating payments to an East Cleveland police officer, forging signatures, and creating false police reports to recover insurance proceeds. Specifically, Harris's actions were taken at the request of George Michael Riley Sr., an FBI informant who testified against him. The FBI began investigating corruption in Northeast Ohio in May of 2017. Riley, acting as an informant, provided information about Harris's involvement in bribery and forgery. Harris created false incident reports and auto recovery reports, forging signatures and providing them to Riley for payment. These reports were never filed with the police or submitted to the insurance company. Harris was indicted on 16 counts, and the trial commenced on December 11, 2023. The jury heard testimony from various witnesses, including Riley and FBI agent named Roth. The Court of Appeals found sufficient evidence to support Harris's bribery conviction, stating he was complicit in facilitating payments to Officer Johnson of public service. Harris was found guilty of forgery for creating false documents and forging signatures without authorization, and the Court of Appeals upheld Harris's insurance fraud conviction, stating he created false reports, knowing they would be used to make a false claim to an insurance company. And finally, the court rejected Harris's entrapment defense, finding sufficient evidence of his predisposition to commit the crime. Harris's bribery, forgery, and insurance convictions were not against the manifest weight of evidence and were affirmed. In my opinion, there is nothing that upsets judges, juries, and prosecutors than a police officer who enriches himself by engaging in criminal activity. Harris was involved in criminal conduct, working in a conspiracy to commit insurance fraud by means of information available to him as a police officer. He was convicted, and his appeals resulted in multiple pages of analysis by the Court of Appeal that found that the appeal had no merit and he must serve his time in jail. This video was adapted from my blog, Zalma on Insurance, which is available free to anyone who clicks on the URL zalma.com/blog. If you do, you can subscribe to the blog and you will receive notice of every blog posting, usually 5, sometimes 6 a week. And you'll also gain access to the more than 4,950 blog postings. You can also view and sign up and subscribe to the videos on YouTube and on rumble.com. They're also free. Please tell your friends and colleagues about the blog and the videos so that they too can subscribe. And if you're interested in further information about insurance, insurance claims, insurance fraud, and insurance law, please consider, for a very small fee, subscribing to my Substack publication. Thank you for your attention.